This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2025 Flagstaff E-PRO, model number 19FD. Okay, so this is not a floor plan video or a sales video, it's more of a how-to video. So I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work. We'll start here at the door side rear. You'll see you have quick drop jacks on it, stabilizer jacks. So basically what that means is instead of having to crank them all the way down to the ground and then start cranking them to stabilize it, they'll pretty much drop to the ground, and then when it feels the resistance, then you can crank it. So you just don't have to do as much cranking to get them stabilized. So it still uses a regular 3/4 inch crank. It's just called a quick drop. Okay. Power awning with LED strip. Of course, you have some storage here. This is your water heater. Okay, so right now, because this is a winterized trailer, the anode rod / drain plug is removed right now, and you can see that's where it screws into right there. Takes an 1 1/16" 6-point socket to get this in and out. Now this water heater works either on 120 AC. There's a heating element right under this cover, and it also works on LP gas. You got a burner right here. The switches are inside. I'll show you those when we get in there. You just have to remember not to run the water heater without water in it. So make sure you have and also the valves are bypassed. So you're in winterized mode right now. So when you're getting ready to camp, you're going to have to switch the valves to the correct position, put the drain plug back in, and then fill the tank to make sure there's water in it before you use it. Okay. I'll show you the switches when we get to them. Now, this is your griddle, obviously. It hangs on the outside here on this rail. There's also a table, a utility table that hangs next to it. You have power here. There's AC power there. But there's a quick connect right here. So you can see that. That's how you get LP to the griddle, is you tap into the system right there with that quick connect, okay? Alrighty. This is just a vent for your furnace. You have outside speaker. This is your hitch here. If you purchased a hitch with the trailer, this video is for both. If you in fact purchased a hitch, then this applies to you. If you didn't purchase a hitch, then obviously you can disregard this part. But this is a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up. These are your cranks. This is the crank for the quick drop here. This is a foot for your tongue jack. You have a wheel on there right now, as you can see. This smaller crank right here is for the power tongue jack in case it fails. If the tongue jack fails for whatever reason, you can pull this piece off here. See, there's a pin in it. You can pull it right out, pull this plug off of the top of the water heater, put the crank down there, and you can actually crank this manually to get yourself out of trouble. So you can always get out of trouble that way. Now when it comes, this bike rack holds 2 bicycles. So keep in mind, there's 4 of these on each side. 2 of them are going to be on each side. On each antler are going to be facing the other direction, because one bike hangs here and then one bike hangs here. So keep that in mind when you're setting it up. You have 2 LP tanks here with automatic changeover regulator, deep cycle marine battery, and the kill switch is hard to see it, but it's right here. I'll try and point it out to you if I can. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Anyway, it's right there, and keep in mind you can turn the battery on and off right there. Docking light. Okay, so this is your power inverter right here. So this converts power and it inverts power. Conversion is starting with 120 AC and converting it to 12 volt DC. Inversion is the opposite. You start with 12 volt DC. In this case, it's the 12 volt DC in your battery, and it'll invert it to 120 AC and send the power to the receptacles inside. Therefore, you can run a small AC appliance off the battery. I'll talk more about it when we get inside. But this is your inverter right here. There's a switch for it inside to control it. Okay, that's your dump hose there. This is the second most popular way to get water to the trailer. This is your fresh water tank fill right here. Normally, you're going to use city water. But if you don't have city water where you're camping, you can pre-fill this fresh water tank right here and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. All the plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping out of the fresh water tank. I'll show you those switches when we get inside. This is the vent for the range hood. So if you're cooking inside and you want to vent to the outside, make sure you open up this baffle like this, so it flaps freely like this, and then you vent to the outside while you're cooking. And that when you're traveling or in stores, you can just shut it like so, okay? 30 amp shore cord. Your dump valves here, gray and black. Black is always the larger valve, keep that in mind. These are color, there's a gray one and a black one, but if they were both the same color, the gray or the black valve, which is toilet water and waste, is always the larger one. Okay? When we come back here, still talking about water, this is your city water hookup right here. You're just gonna put your hose on there, turn it on, and you're all set. This is to draw antifreeze into the system here. You'll have to educate yourself a bit about that for winterizing, but use this port to draw antifreeze in. And this is your black tank flush here. So after you dump your black tank, you can also flush it out with fresh water to clean it out and clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. But like it says on the sticker, always make sure the black tank valve is open before you turn on water to this port here. Because if you have it closed, too much pressure can build up and can cause you problems. So basically what will happen is you'll pull the dump valve and dump the black tank. Then you'll come around and hook the hose at the dump station right onto here, the fresh water hose. The black tank valve is still open. Then you'll turn on the water. It'll flush out your tank. Then you can close everything up, okay? And of course, cable and satellite through right here, okay? This is just for that coiled sprayer. There's one inside the trailer. I'll show you that when we get there. You're pre-wired for a Furrion backup camera kit. You can see the housing there. We sell them here. You can get them elsewhere, but keep in mind it's pre-wired for that. You have a ladder, which makes it easy to inspect the roof. The manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days, so keep in mind that you should stick to that. And every 90 days, somebody should look up there. Make sure there's no damage caused by low branches or road debris flying up there. Make sure there's no crack inter separation from, let's say, where the sealant is. Make sure there's no crack inter separation so water can get through and get into the trailer. Just give an inspection. Odds are you won't have to do anything for years before you do anything to it, but you just don't know. That's why you want to inspect it, just to stay ahead of any potential problems, okay? Alrighty. So as we go inside here, this you can actually talk to. I don't have a whole lot of luck with. You say, "Hey, Power Pro." So let me try this. Oh, so it answered me. Good night. Okay. Hey, Power Pro. Good night.
Sleep well.
There you go. So it shut the main lights down. Okay. So I'll say I'm home, and it should turn everything on. Hey, Power Pro. Excuse me. Hey, Power Pro. Hey, Power Pro. I'm home.
Welcome back.
Okay, there you go. So there are several commands. You can, check holding tanks. You can learn them all. I like to relax. I don't know. I guess that shuts things down. I don't know. Another one here says, "What's my battery level?" So There's in your packet with all your literature in your binder. I'm sure it tells you what all the different commands are. Okay. Okay. So get to it here. So when it comes to your power awning, that's right here. Never leave the power awning out unattended. You're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. Okay. Your water pump is right here. Remember, we use the water pump to pump water out of the fresh water tank if we don't have city water. We also use that to winterize the trailer. You have tank heaters on this one, so you actually have heating pads on all the tanks, the freshwater tank, the gray and black tank, so you can extend your camping season. To turn your electric on your water heater, you do that. To light the gas burner, you do that. Most people will run the electric heating element when they get to the campsite. They'll just turn it on and they'll have hot water all the time. But when you use the shower, they'll kick on the burner. That way you get faster recovery and more hot water, for example. Okay, and of course your lights are there and all your levels. You can connect to an app right there if you want to use the app. So it's all pretty self-explanatory when it comes to that.
The hot water tank. Okay, it's off.
Okay. Okay. Here's some of your stuff that comes with it. This is the sprayer I told you about. You can hook it to that port outside. This is an inline water filter. You throw it out every season. Every spring you put a new one in. This is a tire monitor that comes with it. Inside each wheel, there's a sensor. It's stuck to the wheel inside the tire, stuck to the wheel directly across from the valve stem is where you'll find it. So when you're programming this, that's where you kind of hold this, just so you get you're programming the right sensor. Okay, this will tell you if you're losing tire pressure. It'll tell you if the temperature of your hubs. It'll set off an alarm if they get too hot, that sort of thing. So it's kind of a neat thing. So we were talking about conversion and inversion. So we'll get back to inversion. Now you don't have, this is on right now, but you don't invert power unless you need to. So we'd start off, you got to hold it for a few seconds to shut it off. There it goes. So we start off with it off, right? So to turn it on, we're going to hold it a few seconds. There we go. And what this does, we're plugged in right now, so you can't really tell from the screen that well, but it takes 12 volt DC from your battery, and it inverts it to 120 AC and sends it to the receptacle. So if you look at the receptacles, let's find one I can read easily, if I can. Okay. So this is a normal looking receptacle, but it's inverted right now because it's turned on. So if I don't have any AC power and I do have my battery charged, I can turn on that inverter and it'll invert the power from 12 volt DC to 120 AC and send it to the receptacles. I could run a small appliance, a small AC appliance off the DC battery right now. Okay, that's inversion. Okie dokie. Let me shut this off because I'm not using it right now. Now the other way to go is conversion. All trailers have a converter on them. Almost all trailers. That goes from AC to DC. So here we are right here. First of all, you can see this auto detects the type of battery you have. So no matter what you have up there, a lithium, a gel, a regular lead acid, it'll detect it and understand that that's what it's dealing with. So when you're plugged into shore power, you got 120 AC here at the circuit breakers, and they're all labeled. So that's the AC distribution center. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. So you got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled down here, right? This will detect how much energy your battery or batteries have. If the box, it's a double box. You have one battery, but you can add a second. Keep that in mind. It's better to have two because you have double the storage. So, but anyway, so it'll sense how much energy and it'll keep the battery charged. So it's a battery charger. So as long as you're plugged into shore power, you have AC distribution panel here. converts the power from AC to DC here in a DC distribution panel, and it'll charge the battery. So it does all those things. It's called a power converter. Okay, so that's conversion. Now there's going to be, let me look here. Here it is over here. So this is the solar controller for your solar panel. Now we're inside the shop, so we're not showing any conversion of sunlight to electricity. So keep that in mind. We're inside, but this is the most common screen. 13.4 volts DC. It said, right? So that's how many DC volts are in the system. Right below it will be the gain, 0.1, or just say it's 0.0 amps. That's what we're converting from sunlight and storing in the battery because we're inside. Normally, on a day like today, it would be 5.5 or something like that, right? So that's the most popular screen. If you come around, that's the temperature in Fahrenheit, obviously, and the main screen right here, and that's the actual voltage also, so the DC voltage, right? You can also do different things with it if you read about it, but right now it's bulk. It charges in different ways. Right now it's bulk charging, as you can see. You can read up on this. Now this is a Go Power device. If you go to their site, they got tons of videos, tons of literature to read, all kinds of stuff, so you can learn as much as you want to about it. But this is the solar controller for your solar panel. Okay. All right, so that's important stuff there. Now, your TV, it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, it's AM, it's FM radio. It's got Bluetooth, 2 speaker zones inside the trailer, outside the trailer. So it's more than just a TV, of course. This device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. Keep in mind, it should always be glowing green. If it's not glowing green, get it serviced. It's obviously very important. Now your refrigerator is a 12 volt DC refrigerator, right? You always travel when it's with that latched, okay? Now you can shut this refrigerator off right here. See? I could just shut it right off. The reason you would want to do that is because if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have any AC power, you're running off the solar panel plus the batteries, right? This would consume the most DC power, right? So you can take it out of the loop if you want by shutting it off, and you save that much more for lights and whatever else you want to run, your furnace motor, things like that. So also when you're in storage, if you put it in storage and you want to leave everything running, or leave the battery hooked up and everything, so the solar panel keeps the battery charged, it's best to shut the refrigerator off, because if you let the refrigerator on, it would always be guzzling the most power, right? So you'd have a hard time with the sunlight keeping up charging the batteries. You'd have a hard time staying ahead of the refrigerator, if you know what I'm saying. It'll be using everything up as you get it. So if you shut the refrigerator off, all that energy, or all the sunlight, is going to be converted to DC amps, and it's going to be stored in the battery. So you'll have a fully charged battery when you show up to hook up and go on a trip, whatever. So you can see the advantage of being able to shut the refrigerator off. Hopefully that made sense to you. This is the range hood. I showed you the vent on the outside. There's the fan, the light. This is self-explanatory. This works like they all do. This range here. You're just going to, this is, let's see, we'll go like this. I don't know if he's got the gas turned on. Yeah, he does. It's that simple. You just turn it and push it in. Turn it, push it in, and there you have it. The oven works the same way, except you want it. There's a pilot light back here, so you want to hold it in after it lights. Hold it in for a few seconds to heat up the thermocouple, so it stays burning. But other than that, you do it the same way. Just keep in mind that when you shut the oven off, the flame goes out. So does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. You have an ambient light here and then an oven light, all right there. I got to pick up the pace here because we've only got a limited amount of time here. I'm going over the most important stuff. This Microwave works like any other microwave. The bathroom is typical. The toilet works like all RV toilets. You put a gallon of water and a dose of chemical in the bowl, and you're all set. Never run it without the water and without the chemical. If you do that, it'll get clogged up and it'll smell bad. It'll just be a mess. So you always want to make sure you take care of that. One more eco device is this shower miser here. Okay, so what this does is recirculates the water in a loop. So it's going from here to the water pump to the water heater, around and around and around. Okay. The reason you want to do that is because normally when you're heating up shower water, it's just going to go down the drain. Well, it's heating up, right? Therefore, you're in drought areas you'd be wasting water, and also you'd be wasting storage space in your gray tank by just sending good water down there. So to avoid that, you go like this. You put it in this position here. You see the symbol where it's circulating in a loop there. You turn it on, and it's going to send it around and around and around, and as it heats up, this will change color. It'll get a kind of a beigeish color. You'll see it plain as day change. When that happens, you know that the water is heated up. So then you're just going to go up to the regular shower position, and you're all set, ready to go. It'll come out hot water, and you didn't waste any of it, and you didn't waste any storage space in your gray tank either. So that's a cool thing. It's the shower miser. As I said, there's literature on everything, plus you can go to their websites and look at some of their product videos too if you want to learn even more about some of these things. Okay, the fan is a 4-speed fan. It's got a cover over it. You can keep it open in the rain even. It's great for exhausting condensation also, so it's a really good fan. The 2 slow speeds, you can barely hear them. The 2 high speeds are really kick, so it's a good fan. Okay, table you can turn into a bed by dropping it down onto these cleats and using the backs to fill in the spaces, of course. This is an emergency window here. You would just push this all the way through, grab a hold of the screen tab here, the red tab, and pull the screen out. You can escape an emergency. Now, I'm not going to drop the Murphy bed because I'm sure you already done it. Plus, we'll do it when you pick up. But you're going to jackknife the couch flat, and then just the Murphy bed just folds down on top of it. It's a great design. You reclaim the floor space during the day. It's brilliant, and it turns just a smaller size trailer into a much bigger trailer just by reclaiming that floor space during the day. So it's cool. This is something you might be interested in. I know it says 5G on it, but think public Wi-Fi. You can scan that code, and this is pre-wired for this device if you wanted to get in. It's another pre-wire. But if you scan the code, it'll take you to the web page, and they'll show you the different kits that can go here. Think about, don't think about 5G, think about boosting public Wi-Fi for your family. Because one of the kits will have a Wi-Fi antenna that goes on the roof, plus it'll have a router box that goes right here. And you'll just get better signal, stronger signal, and so just all around better public Wi-Fi. So if you're interested, you can look into that also. Okay? Okay, so the only thing I didn't cover is the thermostat, which is so simple. You're just gonna keep poking it till you get off. Oops, I should have went back to off. But then you can turn the knob, cool, heat, and back to off. Right? You could also, if I would have selected heat, it would allow me to twist the dial after that and set the temperature also, and then push it to set it. Very simple. And there's also, keep in mind, just about all these things have apps. The other thing, oh yeah, this is a GFCI here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through this GFCI. Keep that in mind. Even though if it's a regular looking plug, it's still wired through a GFCI, and they're still inverted if you are running if you're not plugged into AC power and you're running the inverter. It's inverting 12 volt DC from the battery into 120 AC, okay? But right now we're talking about GFCI. Everything is wired. All the plugs, even the one on the outside, are wired through it. So even if it's not it's not a physical GFCI that you're looking at, it's still wired through this one. So if you lose power outside or in the bathroom or wherever, always think GFCI first, okay? Because that's where the problem is going to be 99 out of 100 times. So, okay. All right, I think that about covers it. Let me just look. Your literature is here. Oh, no, it can't be there. It's here. This is a really good binder with everything you need for this, all the information. This is some stuff that comes with it. Just a toilet paper holder. People don't use it because it's hard to find a stud in the wall. Most people will use a portable one that they pack away. You get these two jumpers here to add a second battery. If you look at the under the lid of the battery box, it'll show you how to wire it. If you're going to add a second battery, you want it to stay at 12 volt. You just want to double the storage capacity, so it'll show you how to wire it, and it gives you these cables to do it. So it's always an option, okay? Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please keep in mind what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's very important. Keep after it. You don't know what's happening up there unless you look. Also, this is winterized right now, so there's antifreeze in the system, and the water heater is bypassed. It's empty, and don't run it without water in it. Make sure you set it up properly and put water in it before you run it, okay? All right, thank you very much.